For our next example, we're going to be dividing 5 and 1600ths into 4 equal groups. To begin, we're going to place 5 and 1600ths into our place value chart. So that starts off with 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're moving on to the tenths. There is 1 tenth. And then hundredths, there are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go ahead and pause the video and create your place value chart like I've done and fill it out. Now, we're going to start by dividing these ones into 4 equal groups. So I've got 4 equal groups here, and I'm going to take these 5 ones and place them equally among these 4 groups. So how many ones will go equally into 4 groups? So each group will get 1 1. So this one goes here, this one here, this one here, and this one here. So I've used how many of those ones? 4. So let's go ahead and subtract those ones from our ones column. How many ones are we left with? Just 1 1. So what do I need to do to that 1 1? I can't divide it equally among these groups, can I? No. So I'm going to unbundle it and move it backwards. So when I unbundle it and move it to the tenths column, how many tenths does that create? That creates 10 tenths. How many tenths total do I have now? I have 11. And I'm going to share these 11 tenths equally among these 4 groups. How many tenths will each group get? That's 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's a total of how many tenths did I just use? I used 8. So I'm going to mark off 8 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many tenths am I left with? I'm left with 3 tenths. Can I share those 3 tenths equally among 4 groups? No. So what do I need to do is unbundle these tenths and turn them into hundredths. So I'm going to take each tenth and I'm going to move it back. When I do, that becomes how many hundredths each time? Each time that's going to create 10 hundredths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need to do this 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1 more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now, how many hundredths did I just add from my 3 tenths? 3 tenths is equivalent to 30 hundredths. So now I have 30 hundredths plus the 6 I already had. That's a total of how many? That's 36. So now, how many hundredths will each group get? 36 will go into how many groups of 4? How many would each group get? That's 9. So each group's going to get 9 hundredths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 9. 9. So, when I take those hundredths, 9 for each, we have 9, 18, 27, 36. That takes all of these hundredths. So they're all going to be distributed equally. So I have nothing as my remainder. So let's look at each group. In the ones column, each group has 1. So that'd be 1. I'm going to drop my decimal here because my decimal is in between 1 and tenths. How many tenths does each group have? That's 2. And how many hundredths? Each group has 9. So let's check this using the standard algorithm. So I'm going to have 5 and 16 hundredths divided by 4. 4 will go into 1 how many times? one time. And 1 times 4 is 4. Now I need to subtract. So remember back when we were dividing these groups equally, we had 4 ones and we divided them here. And when we did that, we had 1 1 left over. So 5 take away 4 is 1 1. So that 1 1 represents the 1 we had when we took away 4 ones to these groups. Now we're going to drop this 1. And remember to raise our decimal here. Now we have 11. How many times will 4 go into 11? 4, 8, 12. 12's too many, so it just goes in 2 times. And 2 times 4 is 8. Now we have 11 take away 8, which is 3. If you think back to our tenths column, when we divided up these 11 tenths equally among these groups, we were left with 3 tenths, which we unbundled and brought over, and we're left with 3 tenths here. Now let's drop this hundredth. Now that 3 tenths that we unbundled becomes 36 hundredths, just like it did in our place value chart. Now how many times will 4 go into 36, or you could say 36 divided by 4 equally will be how many? That's 9, and 9 times 4 is 36, and we were left with 0 as our remainder, just like we were left with 0 hundredths here. So our answer in both was 1 and 29 hundredths.